So this is video 90 and I have only 10 videos to go before I reach 100 videos, and after that I plan to continue doing my videos, but it will be just once a week because I have enough practice of talking to myself right now, so I don't need to do special videos for that. And because I don't do the content of my channel for anybody to listen to, I don't collect the materials for my videos, I don't edit them later, I just record the way I talk, the way I can talk to a real person without edits, without rewinding and rewindings maybe and other stuff. So I think I reached my goal of developing my spoken speech. It looks like when I don't know the developer of Ubuntu, the one of the most popular distributive for Linux. So when he published the Ubuntu, his first bug, which he published on the bug tracker for this operation system, was to I think to shift the dictatorship of Windows on the personal computers. And it was, well, actually I don't know when it was. Yeah, when it was, maybe in 2004. I just invent this number. I believe that Ubuntu appeared somewhere at this time, but I think that somewhere at 2014 he finally closed his first bug. He said that now Ubuntu occupied he said that at the time Ubuntu occupied some percentage of the personal computers, so he made Linux as user-friendly as possible, so that it became the competitor of Windows, and many people used it on their personal computers, especially if they don't want if they don't want to use to play games. So this way I can think of all my journey with the recordings of my videos for YouTube is like the struggle for closing the first and only bug, which is to feel comfortable talking in English, so that children, like I always refer to children in any language, especially in English, like any children at the age of 5 or at 6, they can talk on any topic which they understand, and they freely can use the vocabulary they developed talking to their parents, to their teachers, to their friends. They may not even read yet. They don't know what they speak about, what are the words. They have this stuff, like the ideas in their heads, but then they learn to associate the ideas in their heads and the sounds which represent these ideas with the written words, and later they add new words from the school courses, from the books, enrich the vocabulary and other stuff, but the basics of this free talking is put at the 6 years, when basically they can do the main part, and later all the later development is just the additions to the stuff they already can do. The same way, my goal was to start kind of thinking in English, and right now I know maybe 2000 words, maybe some common words. I know some specific words, but somewhere in the description of some particular dictionary, I don't know the name of the dictionary, but it was said something like this. We can call it Merriam-Webster or Maximilian or something else, I don't remember. So in this dictionary, all the descriptions of the words were given using only 3000 basic words. So now I basically have the same ability. I can describe any thought I have in my head using my current vocabulary. Of course, sometimes I don't know the particular words and I use the synonyms or some simple words to give the definitions. And of course, my goal is to have these particular words in my vocabulary, like when I have the idea, which can be expressed in my Russian language with specific words, I want to be able to express the same idea with the specific word in English, because these specific words really exist. If we take something difficult like Jack London's books, like Martin Eden, for example, then we have this translation in every language in the world, and though sometimes it or for many languages there is no the correspondence between the particular words, but each sentence carries a particular idea, and in each book of each language in the world, this sentence is translated quite correctly into the native language of this country. So basically, I want to develop the ability to describe any idea I can have in my head and which I can describe in my native language. I want to describe this idea in English as precisely as possible without giving this lots of definitions or examples, when I can just use one particular word. It's quite easy with some physical objects. For example, the words with which I struggle, or I learn them but I never use them in real life. Like, if I'm not mistaken, alder, ALDER, like the type of the tree, like the fir, and so on. Or so I know that this is the word for the tree, I believe, but I don't know the correct correspondence to the Russian word. And sometimes I know all the words for Russian trees, but I know the representation of these trees in my head only for some specific trees, like the fir, the pine, even the birch, the oak, the apple, even the maple, but not the maple, like with the form of the leaf, because it is the national symbol of Canada. and in the USA they produce this maple syrup. But I can't really say how the form of this canopy of a maple tree is different from, for example, an apple tree. Maybe schematically I can draw a tree like a vertical line plus a circle at the top of this line, because basically the canopy of the tree is kind of looks like a sphere. With the pine trees we have very long line and very small circle on the top, or maybe even the oval. With the pine tree, with the fir trees, we have something like the triangle, long triangle, with the base quite short compared to the length of this, to the height of this triangle, and a very short line which corresponds to the trunk of this fir tree without any branches. And yeah, so this and well, the birch tree can be depicted the same way as a maple tree or an apple tree, like a circle on the top of the vertical line. The difference is that we should draw not the line but the rectangle, and make this rectangle white with black strokes which are quite short and are parallel to the ground, because the bark of the birch tree is white. If we talk about an oak, then I don't know how to depict an oak. Maybe compared to an apple tree, for example, it should have very very thick trunk, and not just, and maybe quite big circle, so that the height of an oak tree is 2 times higher than the height of an apple tree, because usually the oaks live for a long time, and because of the genes, let's say, of this. But the oak is distinguished by the form of the leaf, as well, the same way as a maple tree is distinguished by the form of its leaf. So basically I can draw this schematic form of a maple tree, and I can add somewhere above this scheme the form of a maple leaf. The same way I can add the form of the oak leaf to the oak tree. With the apple, I can just draw an apple above the apple tree. And I have a bunch of trees from the forest of this like mild climate, European climate, or mild American climate. Like, I don't know the names. Maybe older, maybe aspen, I believe, another tree. I can't depict the leaves, and I can draw them only with the same scheme as the apple tree. So they will be distinguished and indistinguished from the other trees. I just need to add the name for this tree. But for example, for the aspen, if I'm right with the particular tree, I can draw some mouth of the vampire. Two big, I don't know, canine teeth or something of the vampire, and above this tree, and it's kind of the standard denotion, the standard agreement that the aspen stakes are used for killing the vampire. When you pierce the heart of the vampire with the aspen stroke, the vampire finally dies. Maybe it turns into the ashes. Maybe it just kind of disappears. I don't know. What else? So, for these particular words, like the same way, like the words for the precious stones, like emerald, ruby, diamond, for the for the elements, chemical elements from the periodic table: potassium, nitrogen, helium, oxygen. For the types of the clothes, for the types of the furniture, for the types of the kitchen utensils, animals, birds, flowers. For all of this stuff, I need to know this particular correspondence, so that when I meet this word in the text, I don't feel like I don't know this word and this is kind of blank word for me. I know that this is a particular tree, and if I don't associate it with something like a vampire or the flag of Canada, then it doesn't matter for me what type of tree it is. If it's not a fir tree, if it's not a birch tree, it's just a tree, and I'm alright with it. One type of the tree, like eucalypt. I'm not sure about the name, or koala. Why not? But for different abstract things like emotions, maybe ideas, I need to know at least the class of this action. For example, if we take swerve, which is the word that I learned specifically from the vocabulary, not from some book which I read or from some movie which I watched. So swerve is the action when the boy rode a bicycle. He saw, let's say, an opened hole on the road, and he swerved his bicycle around this hole, something like that. And when I understand the meaning of this word, I don't need to use it. I should use it. I should have the passive usage of this word. Like if I meet this in the speech of somebody or in the book, I can replace it in my head with the picture, what it means, and I can describe it to myself like move around. Not straight, but move around. And this gives me the power. Okay, And in my active speech, I can just say moved around. I don't need to use swerve if I don't remember this particular word. So, but I should be able to say the idea behind each word. Like I said before, I don't need to know the difference between different birds if they're not pigeons or crows. Like, I knew the names of the birds. I know that this is a bird, but I don't know how it talks in Russian. So it doesn't matter for me that for some particular birds, I don't know how they look in English. I just need to know that this is a bird and this is a bird, or this is a tree, this is something else. That's all right for me. Well, actually, I don't remember from which point I started to talk about this, about these trees and other stuff. But anyway, now I have some specific vocabulary, and well, actually, I always had this vocabulary, but now I can use it as my active vocabulary. And well, actually, I can describe using this particular vocabulary everything. But I want to be more precise, and for the ideas which I know in Russian, like not just abstractly, like a tree, I want to give, well, actually for the set of trees which I know in Russian, if they're not the trees which I know in English, I can just say a tree, or a bird, or like, I don't know, a dog, or a color like red, not just some maroon or magenta, a color like reddish color or greenish color. So it will be all right for me. But for some ideas, some actions, some abstract things, I need to increase my vocabulary, and I'm going to do this, and my once a week talkings will be just the way to practice my vocabulary. Maybe I will add at some point the structures, not just a particular word, but the structures which I can use. For example, I believe that for the advanced schools where they learn English from the first grade, they go through used to, like maybe in the fourth or in the fifth grade. But I like encountered this particular grammar structure before, but I never used it because because I never used anything before. Yeah, and now I just don't need to use used to. I can say, like, I used to watch horror movies, but now I don't do that. And it will be the correct usage of this used to, because this is the the opposition. I did this in the past quite regularly, and now I stopped doing this. Or someone may say, oh yeah, I can say that I used to eat lots of bread. Yeah, all my life. But now I don't eat bread. An interesting thing that okay, sometimes, for example, a guy marries a girl, he became a husband, and his habits change because those habits which he used to do is not compatible with the habits of standard family, and his wife in particular. For example, he may say that I didn't used to wash the dishes with the soap after the meal. I used to wash them with the water and put them to dry. But his wife came from the family where they used to, where they always wash the dishes with the soap. So this is a standard practice in the canteens and in most of the families. So he changes his habits, but he can say that he didn't used to wash the dishes. He didn't use to. Like, he used to, but he didn't use to. This is quite an interesting thing. It's kind of logical, like didn't use to. But when I met this negative form for the first time, it was kind of strange for me. Now I get used to it. So my goal is to get these structures, not just in the form of grammar rule, but take the structure, the example from the grammar rule, create 10 of such examples and learn them, not the grammar rule itself, but learn them, and then my brain will get the grammar rule from the examples, not the other way around, like I give my brain the grammar rule and it creates the correct sentences according to this grammar rule. This way doesn't work for English. It may work for passing the test, but it doesn't work for spoken English. Anyway, so this is my current goal. And this is my current goal. And I almost reached it in 10 lessons, in 10 videos. I will close this gestalt. 100 videos on YouTube. Not just the video for the sake of teaching someone of something or entertaining someone of something. I can say that it's kind of hard to listen to my practicing videos when I learned to talk, when I searched for a topic and then I used it to practice my speaking skills. It's kind of hard to listen to. That's why the real guys who create some content for the audience on the regular basis, they first write the scenarios, then they read these scenarios with the correct pronunciation without making too big pauses the way we listen to audiobooks. Then they add the video materials for these scenarios. Or sometimes people just record their talkings, but they have some prepared topic they talk about, and then they edit the videos. I can see the quick shifts between the particular skins, but this way they cut off the long pauses between the talkings. They cut off the failures of the sentence or of the idea which they wanted to describe, but they decided to say it another way. Well, it takes lots of time, and now I'm not going to do this way because my current goal is to speak the way the actors came to some TV shows, and when the host asks them about how they feel about a particular movie or some experience of their life, they struggle to find the correct words, but they do it quite quick. So we watch all the stuff in the real time without any additions. And my current goal is to do this way, like to talk on some particular topic which I know, but with the ideas which I generate. The ideas are known, but the form of these ideas, the way I describe these ideas using my language, are quite original, because my brain just produces these ideas based on this topic, and I don't have the scenario or the stuff in front of me which I use to talk about it. So with this I finish this first part of my video, which was about my plans for the next 10 videos, and then for the videos after my 100th video. And now I think I can talk about Naruto a little bit more. Well, my current state is the following. I read through the colored version of Naruto manga. It was excellent. It was excellent, one of the best mangas I read. And I am quite lucky that I didn't read first. I didn't watch the anime itself, because it is filled with so many fillers, and even the chapters which were adapted into the anime, they have lots of additional stuff between the pictures, scenes of the manga. Between the pictures of the manga, so yeah, the pacing is really slows down. Maybe the openings and the engines are quite cool, but I can live without it. And of course, the very great advantage for me is that the manga was colored. Well, I read most of the mangas except for One Piece as black and white stuff, and I like Dorohedoro and what else? Alchemist, and this Claymore stuff, and lots of other mangas which I read. But I prefer the mangas in black and white with the quite detailed faces and with lots of strokes in the backgrounds, so that it were not just contours of of the characters, contours of the characters on the page, but the mangaka should draw this 3D effect, or should add lots of stuff to the backs of these pages. And I believe in Naruto itself, it's quite alright, but with the color, it was really easy to get used to the characters, because they all have the distinguished clothes and hairstyles, and with color, yeah, I recognized the character without knowing its name most of the time. Well, I skimmed through Boruto, and well, it's alright, but for some reason it's more characters oriented. There is no much to show in the backs, because in Naruto the author showed the places like this Kono something, the Leaf Village, the Sand Village, all this stuff. But with Boruto, everything happens in this village, and we were there lots of times. It's like there is no point for Rowling to describe the Hogwarts in the 7th book, because she described it in the first one, and then she added the description in the next books. Like in the 3rd book we have the Hogsmeade village, and then in the 4th we have these surroundings like the Mermaid Lake and other stuff. So she just describes the events inside of the Hogwarts in the 7th book. The same way Boruto describes the people and the events in these sets which are already described during the first 700 chapters. But the feeling is different. I am not sure how colored Boruto will look if there is the colored Boruto. But anyway, Naruto was good, and I watched the ideas of one particular guy from the YouTube who, as he said, he watched all the Naruto anime stuff, maybe not all the fillers, but the main ideas, and he said that Boruto anime is really bad compared to Naruto anime, and Naruto anime is really bad compared to the manga. And manga is quite bad in some particular cases, and he described them. Like, for example, he said that after the first mission with this Naruto bridge, they jumped too quickly into this shinin the exam when they became official ninjas. When all the 5 villages came to this exam, then they encountered this I don't remember, this snake guy and all this other stuff. And then Naruto fought against Hinata's brother, and then they pursued then the third Hokage was killed, and they pursued I don't remember whom they pursued. Maybe I don't remember. Sasuke? Well, Gaara took Sasuke. I am not sure. Anyway, this transition from the first ordinary ninja stuff to the was quite quick. This guy said that the author should put a couple of other quite interesting but small ninja routines. Maybe the way in Fairy Tail there were lots of small routines before this thing went into the this something dragon something games. Anyway, again, he said that the editors of Shonen Jump were afraid that if Naruto won't be very dynamic, then the readers would lost interest. That's why the editors encouraged the mangaka to do this quick transition. And well, actually, then there was this Tsunade retrieval. Again, the fight against this Orochimaru, who is the snake guy. Then Sasuke went towards Orochimaru, and Naruto failed to retrieve it, but there were quite interesting fights between this, may I say plumpy, like fat, but plumpy guy who used 3 candies, and he became 100 times stronger, but it felt like he should die. He should have died back then, because he said that's all. And there was something like a butterfly flying and all this stuff. And another guy, Hinata's brother, he was kind of killed as well. But in the end of this pursuit, in the end of the first part of Naruto, whoever they were, they said that all the 5 guys were retrieved and they are alive. So this YouTube guy said that it is the confirmed information. It was the confirmed information that the mangaka was intended to kill this Hinata's brother and this fat guy during this pursuit, and it looked like they died, and that was alright. Just some casualties because lots of people died during Naruto. But for some reason he decided to revive them, and he never used them, let's say, usefully or efficiently during all the other 500 chapters. So again, like this YouTube guy said, lots of characters were almost forgotten from the story during the additional arcs, during the next arcs, plus the following arcs, plus especially during these 200 chapters war. And the way they were introduced in this war was quite artificial. And I totally agree with this guy, because after the finishing of this war, I felt like all these characters who were kind of the same level of importance as Naruto was, they were left behind, and for some reason they just appeared like the stunt actors who felt the crowd, who filled the crowd. And of course, Sakura was not developed during all this story. When Tsunade taught her to do these hard kicks with her fists, her hard kicks were almost useless. They didn't change anything, and the main characters who fought in this war, they were Naruto, Sasuke, previous Hokages who were resurrected, and Kakashi, and actually that's all. And current Hokages from the 5 villages, but all the other characters, they were just some meat whom Naruto should protect all the time. So should have protect. Anyway, I have the same feeling that lots of characters from the first part of Naruto were kind of, let's say, misused in the second part. So Naruto could obviously fought single-handedly against all the enemies. So what else? Misused, yeah. And Hinata was useless, absolutely. And the strange thing that when she came to kind of save Naruto when he was pinned by Pain in the middle of this leaf village, and she said that she confessed to Naruto that she loved him, and since then, till the end of the war, nothing happened between them. Nothing happened. That's kind of strange. No development of the characters. Well, what else? This guy again from YouTube channel. He's yeah, and he said this introduction of the new Sai character, who was the ninja who draw I don't know, animals, and these animals appeared in the real life. It was his magic or jitsu or something. Well, it was a new character in this storytelling, and yeah, that other guy, he mentioned that other guy who was the leader of Kakashi's team when Kakashi was out, and this guy used this tree jitsu, which he inherited from the first Hokage, because he was artificially developed something by something. So this sounded a little bit off, and actually it would be better to put the known characters into this team instead of adding 2 additional characters, and later not this tree guy, not this Sai who draw all the time, were used anywhere outside of this arc when they retrieved Sasuke but failed. Quite strange, quite strange. I don't like the war. Yeah, I don't like the war arc at all, because it lasted so long, 200 chapters, and first this was there was this wave of artificially created white guys, and who were just the meat, which fought against the meat of all the characters from the 5 villages of ninjas. But then Madara appeared. Madara was resurrected. Yeah, of course, Kakashi and other guys fought against the villains of the previous periods. Maybe that was cool, but I believe that if I cross out all these fights, nothing changes, because even Kakashi doesn't show anything of his power to fight. He said something like he was intended to show them what it means, what it meant for him to be 1,000 Jitsu Mirror Ninja. And the author didn't show us anything. The mangaka didn't show us anything. So I can easily cross out all the stuff, like say that, just cross out all the stuff. Like they fought and they finished. Then there was this Madara. I'm not sure, Madara guy, who fought against 5 current Hokages of 5 ninja villages and killed them all. Well, the fight was quite cool, and Naruto helped everyone. But again, all the Hokages were almost killed, and then Madara went to that Obita guy who wore the mask, and at that point they fought against Naruto, Kakashi, and other Sasuke and other characters. Maybe it was not bad, but then this 10 tails creature was created, and there were lots of mutations. Creature mutated into one form, then into another form, and in the end it mutated into the tree. So Again, I can really cancel for me all this stuff. I don't need to reread all this stuff. Well, actually, there were a couple of fine moments when Naruto's mother contacted him out of his, I don't know, aura inside of him. It was cool. And when in the end he talked to his father, it was cool. And when four first Hokages were resurrected, it was quite cool. But all this useless fight when they defeated one form and evolved into the other form, and no one was killed because Naruto used his Ten Tails chakra to protect everyone on the battlefield. So this is just useless stuff. And without the color version of the story, I would have been unable to read it and to understand what's going on. And then they fought against some white guy. And then this bro guy appeared who fought against this white guy and destroyed his legs. But then this white guy evolved into this white Kaguya, mother of everybody. And the tree bloomed and the infinite Tsukuyomi was casted, and everyone except for Naruto and Sasuke, because they possessed the power of the first two sons of this Kaguya woman, and Sakura and Kakashi, who were near them, and Obito. They were the only 5 people who were not affected by this infinite Tsukuyomi. I believe that this fight is not very cool, maybe, but it's alright because there were not so many characters in the whole fight. So I like the way Naruto and Sasuke fought against this Kaguya woman, then they sealed her, and even Sakura somehow participated in this sealing, though they would have been alright without her. But anyway, this particular stuff was quite alright, compared, for me, to all these 200 chapters fight against everyone again and again. But this YouTube guy said that this Kaguya mother and these horned guys were created just to give the big historical villain for the Boruto series, because without it, Naruto went till the starting point of the sage of the 6 paths, who created these chakras and jutsus and started ninjas. So there was, and he defeated this 9-tailed creature, Naruto defeated. So there was no bad characters or with the historical background who could fight from the perspective of being very ancient. So this YouTube guy didn't like Kaguya, but it's alright with me. And I like the fight against Kaguya when there was again just Team 7 more than this fight against everyone, the fourth Shinobi War. And actually this last mission against Kaguya, it looks kind of like the first mission on the Naruto bridge. So for me that's alright. Again, this guy from YouTube, he said that this switch between the end of the war, when they sealed Kaguya, who was kind of the epic of the summit, of the whole war, culmination of the whole war. Like, there was a long war, then they somehow killed this Madara guy, and then they killed Kaguya, and they just needed to reverse the Infinite Tsukuyomi and freed everyone. Then they have this, I don't know, one chapter of cooldown when four Hokages disappeared from this world, and Naruto talked to his father, and Sasuke, he sealed each of 9-tailed beast using his own power. So it was alright for me, and then they switched towards this battle, which corresponds to the battle between Naruto and Sasuke in the end of the first part of Naruto. And then they fought against each other, they destroyed these two statues, and after that they performed, Sasuke agreed that he had lost, they performed this unsealing jutsu, freed everyone, and then sometime later they buried the killed people during the war, who died during the war, and who had died during the war. And then the last part of the 699 chapter, when Kakashi became the Hokage. I believe he became the Hokage, and he freed Sasuke from prison, because Naruto wanted to free Sasuke from prison, and because Sasuke's help in reversing the curse of Infinite Tsukuyomi was so tremendous. So Sasuke was freed. Actually, Sasuke didn't kill anyone during all the time when he was a big bad guy, or he was bad big guy all this story. He was on the dark side. And then first Sasuke said goodbye to Kakashi, then he promised Sakura that at some point they would meet and they would be again, they would be together. And in the end, Naruto met him, and he returned to Sasuke his ninja band, which he scratched in the fight in the end of the first part of Naruto. So I believe that this mirror correspondence between the first part and the second part and everything is quite perfect. Though this guy from YouTube, he said that there is a particular falling period in each story when there was a big culmination stuff. I believe that this is the right word, culmination. And because the war, everyone against everyone, then against Madara and Obito and this Infinite Tsukuyomi tree and this Kaguya, this war lasted for 200 chapters, then it should have been at least 10 chapters to make this cooldown period, before going into the last mega fight of all the series of all 15 years manga between Naruto and Sasuke. But there was no this cooldown period, and the editors of Shonen Jump told the mangaka to finish his manga at the chapter 700. That's the 700. That's why he made this rush forward into the battle between Naruto and Sasuke, and this battle was like the battle of the remains of the forces which they had after the whole battle. The YouTube guy believed that after this cooldown period of 10 chapters, they should have this mega battle against each other, but they should go against one another at full force, and maybe they should use all the techniques that they acquired during these 700 chapters. And it should, this battle should continue like 10, maybe 20 chapters, because this is the last battle. And after that, all the stuff with departure between Sasuke, Kakashi, and Sakura, and then Sasuke and Naruto. And of course, this YouTube guy said that the 700th chapter was a full shit, because it introduced only Boruto and other characters to advertise the new Boruto anime series, and it was not about Naruto at all. Naruto was like the side character. Yes, he became Hokage. Yes, it was the regular meeting between the 5 Hokages of 5 villages, and it was quite peaceful environment, a peaceful time for the last 15 years since last big fight. But this YouTube guy believes that this chapter should not exist at all. Somehow the mangaka should put Naruto becoming a Hokage without showing his children, just inside of this last departure of Sasuke. But, well, actually, maybe he's right. I'm not sure about it. I'm not such a big fan. And actually, when I read through the ending of Naruto, the last 700 chapters, I felt like it's like the mirroring of Harry Potter's stuff. When she switched towards moved I don't know 11 years forward, when all the characters with the parents met at the King Cross railway station. So it looks like a real mirror of this ending. The same way the starting point of Naruto is the mirror of Harry Potter, when his parents died and he defeated the main villain, but had the mark of this villain inside of him. Anyway, even if it is a copy, it is quite alright for me, because I can't think of any better ending. And especially when we have the particular mirroring of the first chapter in the last chapter. When in the first chapter we have this wall with some pictograms, pictures, and the story of current state of Naruto. And then Naruto draws something on the faces of Hokages on the stone wall, and then the third Hokage take care of Naruto. And we have the same mirror in the last chapter, like Boruto draw something on the faces of Hokages, and Naruto, being the seventh Hokage, took care of Boruto. And then the last page is the pictures and the story which concludes the story of Naruto, the perfect mirror of the first page. And I like this, that during the story there was no city behind this mountain with the faces of Hokage, but 15 years later there was a city with huge skyscrapers behind this mountain. So for me this is the perfect ending, because I can't think of anything better, and that's why it's this is okay. And because I knew that the ending was perfect, I was able to read through this tedious, boring, long 200 chapters war between Shinobi and other guys, and went and reach Kaguya's arc, and then the final arc. So for me, Naruto is quite cool, even though the fans can find lots of faults, errors, and other things inside of Naruto which should be kind of removed which should have been removed to create a better story. Okay, and with this I finish my video 90. That's all for today.